Welcome to Schloss Leopoldskron and the Salzburg Global Seminar. My guest has been taking part, indeed co-chairing, a session on healthcare. Michael Barry, you are the president of the Foundation for Informed Medical Decision-Making and have been very involved in the sponsorship and organization of this particular session.
Indeed, I have, and our foundation has been honored to be a part of it. Our mission is to make sure people are informed and involved in their healthcare decisions, and that's really the core of what the seminar is about this year.
And do you feel that there has been a sort of consensus amongst the participants here that this is the right approach to be taking?
Well, we weren't sure when we were planning the seminar to what extent the fellows who are attending from all over the world would find this an issue that resonated for their own countries and their own situations. And I've been pleasantly surprised that although there are many variations in health systems, that the theme that patients need to be at the center of care does seem to be a generalizable concept all around the world.
Is this your first visit to Schloss Leopoldskron?
It is indeed, and hopefully not my last.
Well, I hope it's not your last either, but between now and then, you will be abandoned.
Oh dear.
I'm sorry to say, on the Untersberg. If you look across the lake from Schloss Leopoldskron, you will see this mountain, and you will be stranded there, quite alone. But I will allow you to take 3 works of literature, art, entertainment to have with you on the Untersberg in your isolation. And I wonder what your choices are.
Well, I've been thinking about this a little bit, but not too long since I just heard about this concept. And I'm going to start with a book by a colleague of mine who's here, Jack Wenberg, who's just published a book called Tracking Medicine. And this is about Jack Wenberg's 40-year journey through the study of variations in medical practice, initially in the United States and then around the world. And the fact that the healthcare people get is as much or more determined by where they live than who they are and what they care about, had been the phenomenon that's really sparked the movement to say, let's move patients to the center of medical care. Now, I have a little confession to make about this book. I was supposed to have read it already, and in fact, I lived part of it working as a colleague with Jack and was given many chapters to read in preparation, but I have actually not read the book from beginning to end, and it's about time I did so.
This will be a perfect opportunity for you to read this book, Tracking Medicine. But I see you have another book.
Well, I do, and this one I have read, but it's one of those books you can read again right afterwards, and it's The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, and it's by Mark Haddon, and it's quite a remarkable book. So it's a Sherlock Holmes murder mystery, and but it's told from the perspective of an autistic adolescent who decides he's going to solve this murder mystery with a very different toolkit than you and I might bring to the problem. In some ways weaker in terms of human interactions, but in some ways stronger in terms of powers of observation and the ability to synthesize data into meaningful conclusions. And it was just a great reminder to me that perspectives are very different in life and in healthcare, and remembering that as a clinician, my preferences may be very different than the preferences and coping strategies of the patients I may deal with.
And it's not the sort of thriller that knowing the end is going to be disappointing reading it a second, third, fourth.
It will not. It's a book about process, and I love the process.
And what is your final choice?
Well, in thinking, I think I'll choose a painting, and I think I'll pick Edward Munch's The Scream. Now, I didn't bring it because it's well guarded in the Oslo National Museum. I did get to see it a few years ago. There have been a couple of attempts to steal it through the years, and I think it's become more and more well guarded, so we'll maybe have to bring a copy. But I'll think of The Scream in this context as a bit of a scream of indignation that in fact in healthcare in the United States and increasingly we're finding around the world, the patient who should be at the center of healthcare has not been really informed about the fateful decisions that face them in healthcare and involved so that their preferences become the key factor that's considered in getting to an optimal decision.
Well, Michael, thank you so much for being our guest on the Untersberg.
My pleasure.